Hey, everyone. Happy Thursday. Listen, it's Thursday, y'all. We're almost to our weekend. One more day, and we can have a good, fun weekend. Listen, it's Trending Topics Thursday, and the title is Bad Decisions. I don't know what's going on with 2024, but people are making some bad decisions. Yes, they are. Just an update to one of the stories last night. The story where the woman, she said it was her uncle, and she took him into the bank, and he was already not living anymore, okay? Because she wanted to try to get him signed a loan. Do you know that lady caught a cab? She caught a cab. She caught a cab to the bank, and the cab driver helped her put the body in the cab and helped her take the body out. Did the cab not notice that the man wasn't breathing? That his head probably was going everywhere and he had no control of his body parts? We got to move on, though. I just wanted to give you that update that the woman actually caught a cab. But it's Thursday. Let's get back to tonight's show. Yeah, bad decisions. The word on the curb is that Andy is out the door. He's decided now and trying to work out his exit package. There's many reasons as to why. The shows are tanking. The ratings aren't what they used to be. He's been with Bravo since 2004. It is 2024. He had 2 decades. And he had a good run. He did. He helped Bravo go from not an unknown name to a known name. But he did a lot of crazy stuff, allegedly, while he was there, too. He got too big for his britches, one may say. Just to throw him back with the alcohol. Yeah, well, she reported the Andy story is false, but many people saying it's true. I say where there's smoke, there's fire. And the reason why I'm saying that is, why did they cancel BravoCon 2024? That BravoCon makes them top dollar. That thing sold out last year before it even happened. Sold out. Every ticket, the top tier ticket, the middle tier, the lowest tier, BravoCon sold out. So now there is a rumor going around, and In Touch Weekly has said a source from inside say he is currently working out his exit package. Time will tell, but I can believe it. He got a lot of lawsuits after him. He's showing too much favoritism. And every show over there practically is a hot mess. A hot mess. And Amy, listen, let me see. Amy, it's nice to see you. Is this Amy? Is this the Amy I work with in the hospital? You got to let me know, Amy, if that's you. If it is you, and I miss you, girl, and I miss our times in the hospital if that's you, and nice to see you here. Let me know if that's you. But anyway, listen, guys. So, Andy, the word on the curve is, like I said, that hey, girlfriend, I miss you and I love you. Listen, y'all know I worked in a hospital way back when in the day, pediatrics. Okay, this is a fellow nurse that I work with. Beautiful person, beautiful soul. Queen of diabetic teachers. She was one of them. I miss you, girl. We had good times together over in the hospital, working with the kids. I'm glad you're here. Listen, guys, so yeah, Andy Cohen, hot mess. Hot mess. Is he going? Maybe he's going, maybe he's not. All right. So then we got these ladies. What is with the people in these BBLs, these mommy makeovers, to the point where they will do undercover stuff. Go with people that they know is not a license to do it. Go with people that they know are not licensed to do it. You that desperate for a big booty that you gonna have somebody come to your house and put injections in you? Well, where they do that at? Well, we have a mother-daughter duo. They said the licensed doctor charge you anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000. We got you for $3,000 to $5,000, and we'll come to your house and do it. Where's the sterilization? You really that desperate for a big booty that you're going to allow somebody to do a drive-by at your house and put some injections in you? That's what you're doing? Bad decisions. Because now the mother and daughter, they locked up. Because unfortunately for the young lady who wanted the butt, the big booty, she's no longer here. She's speaking to her maker. And she went home to be with her maker prematurely because she wanted a big booty. It's called squats. Do 100 squats per day and your booty will get bigger. That's it. That's all. Eat right. Do something. I don't know. But ain't nobody coming to my house to pump no injections so that my booty could look bigger. I won't do it. Bad decision. We're going to talk about it. Then you know what is with the selfie factionation? Why does everybody have to post for the gram, for the Facebook, for the Twitter, for the whatever? People are obsessed with taking these selfies. There are people that, for real, I'm telling you the absolute truth, that they go on mountains and they want to stand on the edge of the mountain and they slipped off and fell and lost their life all because they wanted a selfie. It ain't that serious for me. Let me stand right here. Back in the old days, cheese, that's it. No, now they want to do a selfie. You got to do all these filters to the selfie, and they risking their lives to get the best selfie. It's ridiculous. So you have this family where they saw baby cubs in the tree. Little baby bears. They saw them in the tree. They were so desperate to, I guess, get a crazy selfie. They was plucking the cubs out of the tree so they could take a picture with the cub. Did they not read growing up the story? What is it? Little Red Riding Hood and the Three Bears. What's the story with the three bears? I don't know. It's some story like that. They got bears in it. You child, that's what they said. They lucky that mom wasn't around. They probably wouldn't be here right now. Because those mama bears do not play with their cubs. They plucked the cubs out of the tree so they could take a selfie. And it was a whole family making this bad decision. A whole family making this bad decision. And I'm like, well, Goldilocks, come on now. Thank you, Wayne. Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Did they not read the story? Who messing with the wildlife? And then the one bear they plucked out of the tree, that family separated that bear from the brothers and sisters, and now the little cub is an orphan. Can't find his brothers and sisters no more because they wanted to take a selfie. Yeah, now the little cub, he's an orphan. He got separated and stolen from his brothers and sisters. Because after they finished taking a selfie, he jumped down, something like that, tried to run. He tried to get back up with his brothers and sisters, and he couldn't. So orphan now, all because they wanted a selfie. Are people crazy? I'm telling you, when I went on vacation last year, we went on this excursion. Yeah, I went on this excursion, and the guy wanted he was trying to call the monkey down so we could don't call that monkey. No, I don't take no picture with no monkey. I I promise you he did. He was driving. I don't know if it was the jungle. I don't know where we was at. And next thing you know, he parked and he was like, oh. I said, what you doing? He said, I'm calling the monkey. I said, whoa. I don't want to take no picture with no monkey. No. Would that monkey get angry? Pluck my eye out or something. No, I don't want to take no picture with that monkey. Get out of here. We could keep going. What's next? You know, picture with no monkey. Grenada. I was in Grenada. I was in Grenada. Yeah. He was like, oh, talking monkey talk. He wanted the monkey to come down out the trees. And when we drove up, I saw him purchase some bananas from the guy, and I'm just looking like, what? Yeah, he wanted the monkey come down so the monkey we could take. I don't need no picture with no monkey. No. I want to go back to the spa. That's not what I do. These people, they want to go out in countries they don't know anything about, and they want to go on these tours, and they want to take pictures with snakes, lions, tigers, and bears. I'm good. No. They don't want them to mess with, we don't want them to mess with us, and they don't want us to mess with them. Get out of here. I want no picture with no monkey. The best I will do is go to the zoo, see the animals, and then go home. I don't need to touch them. I don't need to feel them. I don't need to feed them. No, I do not. Get out of here. The monkeys, and they turn on you, and you wonder why. No, I'm good. Call that monkey down here. Let's keep driving, sir. I appreciate you. Yeah, I'm going to see them from a distance. And if you ever go to the zoo, they be giving you the eye because they probably mad that they caged in this zoo for us to come see them. No, I ain't messing around. I don't want to go through the safari. And I'm in this Jeep that's open in the air. I promise you, there's a video online. They was going through the safari. The elephant got mad, and he came and knocked the travel Jeep. Oh, no. Bad decisions. Don't mess with the animals, and they will most likely not mess with you. I'm good. Yeah. They do look lifeless at the zoo. It's a mess. Yeah, come on, and then you can't get mad when the monkey start acting like a monkey. I know that's right. Listen, guys, hit the like button because we about to start the show. Y'all know what y'all need to do, right? Because you know what I need in that chat. I need a what? I need a choo-choo. Hold aboard, everybody. It is Thursday night trending topics, and the title of tonight's show is Bad Decisions, and we're about to talk about it. I'm going to bring the people in the building. Andy made a bad decision. He got too close to the talent, and then the talent turned on him. Let me tell you, at work, when it comes to work, you got to operate like nobody is your friend. You got to go to work, and then when you leave work, you go hang with your friends that are not at work. Period, point blank. Then you got the people with the butt surgery, the injection, because they wanted to be greedy and perform tasks that they had no business performing. They both doing 4 years behind bars, mother and daughter. Bad decision. You see that mother done taught her daughter some bad stuff. It's a hot mess. Then you got the family want to pluck cubs out of trees because they want a selfie. I cannot. Let me bring the people on in the building. Hey, Leo.
Hey, Diva.
Hey, in my opinion.
Hey, Diva. Hit the like button.
Hit the like button, E. Felicia. Katrina. Hey, Wayne.
Hey, Diva.
Building. Choo. Hey, Tay. Hey, Mel. Everybody's in the building. It's nice.
Hello.
Oh, hey.
Hi.
Hey. So listen, guys. Hey, we're going to go ahead and get started, and I'm going to go ahead and get Andy Cohen out the way. See, there's a lot of problems with this Andy Cohen story, right? You know, some people saying, oh, it's false, oh, it's true. TMZ came out and said that a statement that saying Andy that from Andy saying that's not true. Well, that's what they all say, right? But I believe where there's smoke, there's fire. Bernice, thank you for being a member for 17 months. I appreciate you. Okay. Choo choo. Okay. Franken Avenue shuttle. Come on now. So, and so yes, but thank you for that, because there's rumors going around that it is true, it isn't true, and I believe where there's some smoke, there's some fire. They canceled BravoCon for a reason. And you know how I like to do? I like to put the little puzzle pieces together. And at first, because I heard this story a couple days ago, and I was like, Then I started putting the little pieces of the puzzle together. It seems like Bravo, they want a firing spree or give you a break spree. There's, Nene started the train when it came to Andy Cohen. But sometimes you have stories where it's right message, wrong messenger. And unfortunately, at that time, Nene might have had the right message, but she was the wrong messenger. And it just is what it is. Okay? So now Andy has some girls that don't look like Nene suing him. So they, now the people are saying, okay, wait a minute now. When it was Nene, they didn't give a crap, really. It's Nene, whatever. Okay? But now some other girls are accusing him of some things. And as a result of their accusations, if you put the puzzle pieces together and keep your eye on it, they made some changes. If you notice now, at the end of all the reunions that you have seen lately, have you seen them do a toast? I haven't. They're not bringing out the champagne. They're not bringing out the wine. There is no toast. Have you noticed that? That's a new thing. Because every other reunion, if you go pull it up, if you got on demand or whatever thing you use, at the end of that reunion, they have a toast. Because he asked the non-drinkers, did you want some water, you want this, or you want that? They have a toast. Well, the last couple of reunions, there's no toast. And you want to know why? Because that, what's her name? Leah Sweeney, she accused the Bravo and Andy of them of forcing the people to take the substance, the what do they call the liquid drinks?
The libations.
The libations. Come on now, Leo. She said they're encouraged to do that over there. So all of a sudden now on the reunions, you don't see it. If you are a fan of Watch What Happens Live with Andy, they always did the little shot skis at the end, where he had the long little ski thing, and they had the shot glasses on it, and they would put the little shot in there, and everybody come together at the end and take the shot. You haven't seen that lately, have you? No, because that Liam and Sweeney and some others are claiming 10 toes down that the people are forced and encouraged to do that over there, so they cut that out. They cut that out. So they're making little changes, subtle changes. And if you don't pay attention, you may not notice it, but they're making the changes based upon what Leah McSweeney and some others have said. So he got a couple lawsuits against him right now. But then you got some other people suing other people within the Bravo world. And they know that they're in a little bit of trouble. And don't forget, even though it didn't seem to go anywhere, there was a lot of smoke that came out of, what's that big mouth one name? What's the tiny girls, the small girls or whatever. I forgot.
Little people. Bethany.
She has that Bethany. Thank you, Bethany. Bethany. Bethany was coming after him with a vengeance. So he got a lot of smoke around him. And I promise you, with BravoCon, they rake in the dollars. Those BravoCon tickets are not cheap. Last year, they sold out. And all of a sudden, this year, they're canceling it. Can y'all put the dots together? So, of course, they don't want rumors out that Andy is probably on his way out the door. And, of course, Andy is going to say, that's not true. It's not true. But I think there's smoke, there's fire. And I think they're slowly backing Andy away from being the figurehead of Bravo. But the thing is, will Bravo survive without him? And who could step up into that role and continue to make an impact or to help turn that thing around? Right? So let me just share this article real quick and we'll go around. Now, this is In Touch, In Touch. Now, people were saying, oh, this is false. This is not so. I can see. I think the sources are the sources, and the sources are telling the truth. Andy Cohen negotiating a departure package with Bravo amid mounting accusations. It looks like Real Housewives head honcho Andy Cohen can't stand the heat. Amid swirling controversy and unfailing ratings, the 55-year-old Bravo patriot is in discussions to part ways with the network he helped shape. Sources exclusively tell In Touch. Negotiations for Cohen's departure package are underway as he grapples with the fallout from mounting accusations by his stars, says a source. Recent allegations came from a lawsuit filed by ex-housewife Leah McSweeney about Cohen encouraging rampant substance abuse to boost ratings, and Brandi Glanville claiming he SH'd her. Cohen and Bravo have denied the accusations that this couldn't be further from the truth, says a Bravo insider. The Watch What Happens Live Andy host also issued an apology after the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills alum Glanville accused him of H, stemming from a video allegedly sent from Cohen to Glanville in 2022. The video shows Kristen and I very clearly joking to Brandi. It was obviously meant in jest, and Brandi's response clearly communicated she was in on the joke. That said, it was totally inappropriate. I apologize, Cohen wrote via X, formerly Twitter, in February. A publicist for NBC and Bravo denies the story. Yeah, deny. Because you know what Bravo likes to do, and we know that they do this with the housewives, they like for the housewives, even when they're being fired, to go out gracefully and to give the same statement all of them give. I decided to take a break. I may be back some later date. Right now I'm focusing on the other projects that I have in the works, and I have many. I got some acting gigs. I have this, I have that. I had blah, 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 blah. So they give the same statement in different variations when they're leaving. So of course, Andy, in my opinion, wants to save face and be like, no, this is so untrue. Why would a random rumor all of a sudden, in all the things that happened with Andy in 2024, there's this random rumor that he's going to step down or working on an exit package? Leo, any thoughts on this? And if you can go around for me, I just need to run to the ladies' room. Thank you.
I got you. It may not be true in its terms of how it's being spoken in real language, but I do believe that Andy, because sometimes when they say the rumors aren't true, in meaning that how y'all saying it ain't true, but how I'm getting ready to negotiate this exit is true. He may be coming up with terms. He may not leave in 2024. He may finish out the Bravo seasons. And in 2025, they may be preparing to have a new face on it. Because my angle for this story is, yes, there are lawsuits. Yes, they have been behaving badly. It's two things. He got a Lizzo problem. The Lizzo problem is that you think your employees are your friends and you've been acting accordingly, which when it comes to business, you can't expect your inappropriate behavior to be seen as it's just a joke. I really didn't mean this, that, and the third. It wasn't like that, but these are the employees. So you can't have that kind of relationship. And number two, because the ratings are in the tank, it's obvious that the network has seen the light to know that they need to move in another direction, including the talent and including the host. If he did not come up with other plans to evolve the housewives, then they got to come up with someone else who they can give credit to as a producer to be able to move housewives in another lane. I've been hearing on these YouTube streets that people have been very dissatisfied with Andy hosting, especially Married to Medicine and as well as Real Housewives of Potomac. They have not liked the direction that he has hosted. And in his last iteration of the reunion, it was so much material that he could have went into with these girls that he did not do. He acted like he was tired. He acted like he was drained. Was it possibly because the girls was draining? Perhaps. But he did not give what he was supposed to have given as a host. So the word, I could believe it. I can't believe it that it's time to turn the page on Andy Cohen. And that's all I got. What you got, opinion?
I think they took Andy back a little bit anyway. They took him from being the major lead on being the producer of these housewives, and they only gave him the reunions. And I saw something in him when Wendy said she wanted to stop doing this, stop teaching, and wanted to be with her kids because they was growing up. So I do think this is a thing where he's probably feeling a little guilt too because he has those two babies. So I feel like there may be a little guilt there, and it looked like it hit him when she said she wanted to be with her kids. It looked like it may have hit him. And so maybe he's trying to do this to be with his kids. Whatever the case is, Bravo is over there getting rid of all they talent, okay? They is resurfacing, and we're going to see a new Bravo soon.
And we need to, opinion, or we get ready to turn our TVs off. We get ready to cut our streaming. We get ready to
all reality need to be rebooted.
Yes, because it's the same old formula over and over again. And personally, I am sick of it. All right. E, you're up.
Hello.
Hello.
I will say nothing lasts forever. If it's Andy's time, he had a long run and longer than most, actually. So I want us to be clear. What really helped to propel Bravo to the colossal force that it is was Roa.
Yeah.
And yes, there were other shows, but for a long time, Roa was top billing, and Roa brought the Black female viewership. And with the assistance of the Black female viewership came more advertising dollars. So why am I saying this? Black women have been dissatisfied with Andrew's reunion hosting of Roa since Kenya and Portia fought. Portia Williams Stewart, Kelly McKinley, Gubadia Williams. People didn't like the way that it was handled between Quad and Mariah early on. And if you just go back and watch some of the earlier recaps from other content creators, people have been calling Andrew out for a long time. The ratings have been on a steady decline. Even the views on his show don't even it comes on after the Housewives, but more than 500 people click off and turn the channel. So that lets you know that the people who are watching the Housewives are not sticking around to hear what Andrew has to say, because like I said, 500,000 people turn the damn channel. So his views are steady unless he has a colossal guest on there, like a fan favorite. I remember when Nene came on. I remember when Kenya comes on, people really tune in for that. When you have people like Dr. Walkie Talkie, 500,000 people, click the hell off. So why am I saying that? Because if the interest has been dwindling for years, and each year on the shows, okay, well, 100,000 people say, I'm not doing this anymore. 100,000 more people fall off the next year. 100,000 more people fall off the next year. Now we have allegations, criminal allegations that, it's a hostile work environment. People are being encouraged to play Russian roulette with their sobriety. We have, allegations of drug use and people being treated unfairly due to colorism. I think all of that plays a part because now it's like Diva said, where there's smoke, there's fire. Do you get what I'm saying, Leo?
I do.
And I, whether he is getting ready to be out or not, I think that this has reached its climax. It's never going to be as good as it was. And whoever they're going to get in that seat, if they're just going to put another white man there, what would be the point? I can't see them having a black woman being in that seat. And so the only thing that would make sense for their reunions is to have a rotating judge, like whoever's hot at the time, who's prevalent to that particular culture. You can't have the same host hosting the reunion for all the franchises. That formula won't work anymore. As far as the drinking goes, that's a formula of the show. And I can't remember if it was you, Leo, or in my opinion, who said, the all reality needs a reboot, a revamp. And I think so. I think reality has run its course, and unless they get some scripted writers over there, go ahead and hang it on up. Put it over there with the own channel.
And let Carlos King continue to do the Housewives.
I know, cancel his stuff too. Just hang it up.
He's going into the league of scripted as well, because I feel like Carlos King got his he got his pinnacle when he was doing Atlanta Housewives, because he was letting them tell their stories. It had some authenticity with it when he was letting them do their stories. But when he moved over to his own, he really did at first let Huntsville tell their stories, Love and Marriage Huntsville, but then he started doing the same thing as some other people do, as far as trying to navigate the story, trying to promote a story. And I think the reality TV part has run its course, because they're no longer doing reality TV. They're doing what they think gonna get clicks and views. All right, VIP Shan, you're in the building. What you got for us? Good, love to see you.
Hey, my VIP sister. If the rumor is true, bye Andy, we won't miss you. The same as we won't miss Robin and the rest of them. Because we need a host who's unbiased. We need a host who's gonna hold everybody accountable, not just some accountable. And I'm tired of him hosting. Bring back Nicki Minaj. And y'all are gonna disagree with me, but I enjoyed when she hosted. So
I did too.
Yeah. See, that's why I love you. I think it's a needed change. And I'm with Leo, in my opinion, and E. Like, the reality shows, they all need a reboot, something different. It's the same story, like y'all say. So it's time to, freshen it up, make some changes, and somebody who's going to be fair to everyone. And not just question some people hard, try to hold them accountable, and the other ones, they get to sit there and look cute. You know what I'm saying? So that's good. Bye, Andy.
Bye. Okay. Bye, Andy. All right, Wayne, what you got for the reality TV show?
Well, I gotta think this is gonna give Bravo an opportunity, excuse me, like they say, to revamp, go back and in the past to see what worked, because keep in mind it's all about the Benjamins. So if they have to go back and I think maybe pull up Nene or some of the old favorites or whatever worked, I think this is an opportunity to go back and try to do things, add some new stuff to it. Like I say, new storylines, new venues, and just something different. Because what they have now is not working. And definitely a different host. And maybe they could do like guest hosts, certain days. The reunion's going to be a couple days or whatever, maybe two different hosts or just something different. People, everybody that, that watches the Housewives, they watch other things too. So they could very well be just as happy with another host, maybe like, Shannon said, like Nicki Minaj, maybe even, what's her name? The other little girl's name? Cardi. Yeah, Cardi B. Something different. But I think they're probably, going to go through a few things, seeing what works and then pull something together for the next season. If they come back with the next season, this is going to be, reality or whatever. But it's giving them an opportunity, because like she said, nothing lasts forever.
Yeah, that's what he said. But I kind of feel like, y'all, that the reality housewives genre has come to an end. I really don't think that, first of all, you can't make something into what it used to be, right? So in the beginning, this reality TV thing was all new, and people was actually showing up as who they are. I don't think that there's room anymore for people to show up as they are. It is the Instagram, it is the Twitters that used to be, that's now X. It is all these other influences that come in. Well, most of the time, the only thing that people want when they show up on reality TV is fame. They want to get recognized. They want to get known. In the early years, the people had real conflict. They had real storylines. They really did show their real life. And I think it's been tainted now. I think everybody comes with an agenda. Everybody comes with a plan to promote they this and they that, and they get they fashion line, they makeup, they music. All this stuff is now happening with reality TV, and the producers kind of like feed into the fact that people are coming up pretentious and actually just trying to build a platform for themselves and not necessarily doing actual reality TV. I think it's done. I think it's over. I think it's over. It will never go back to the glory days of 2016 and 2017. It's not happening again. I don't care what show it is. I don't care who you get on the show. I don't care who the showrunner is. I don't care who the producers are. I don't care if it's truly original. It's just not going to happen. People are not engaged like that anymore.
Yeah, and it's best if they get a group of friends and not just you, all these random people. They come together, they pretend to be friends. It's like if they get a core group of friends, then it will be like real kind of friendships.
Right, and follow that. But then again, you still have these fame whores that are just actually just trying to get on the TV. And I just don't really think that that's not, in my opinion, it does. I don't think that's a good recipe for having good TV like it was in the 2017s. It just is not going to happen. But what you think, Katrina? I could be wrong. What you got?
No, I agree with you. And the thing of it is, Andy made enough money off these women back, making them look like fools, and having us up here complaining and fussing and disagreeing with each other while he laughing to the bank. No, the shows they're all gone. They're no good anymore. Just like when Dynasty, Knox Landing, and Dallas used to come on, we was tuned into that. That ran its course. Everything runs its course. We're done, Andy. We're done. You made too much money off these women. Got them looking like fools, got them acting like fools, and then having us up here discussing them, and we getting mad about the things that we discussing them about. So yeah, it's over with and done, and we need something else. Go do a reboot of Good Times or something. I don't know. Just bring something else that we had fun watching, because this not fun anymore. There's nothing fun about it. We supposed to be seeing rich people go on trips and all that, but we seeing them on the paddle boats. We good. We good. He can go. We good. That's all I got, Leo.
And you know what? You're right. You're right. It is now. So we used to be tuning in for Dallas and Dynasty, and it ran its course. And now the reality TVs have run their shows have run their course. I unless they come up with a different formula, unless I see something else that I can say, okay, yes, this is new, this is fresh. I don't know how they're going to do it. I think I will say Bravo's time is done. Now, the other networks doing other reality TV shows, I can't necessarily say. But with Bravo, they are really, really going to have to do something different. What you got, Tay?
All I say, deuces, and don't come back at all. Hit the road, Jack. and don't you come back no more, no more.
That's right.
I know that's right. Go ahead.
I know that's right.
Come on
And
now.
y'all know that Kathy Griffin said many years ago, many years ago, that Andy was only about his own self-aggrandizement, and meaning that he was just trying to get on TV. He was just trying to get popular. He just wanted to be the man, the name. He was always a camera whore. And
Yeah,
that,
he threw her under the bus.
yep, that's what Kathy Griffin said many years ago. So of course he gonna come out and say, well, no, that's not true. That's not what's happening, because he's trying to save his own skins in the public eye. Okay, Mel, you're up.
Well, you know what? I agree with you. What you said. You know what? For me, it's funny to me. Why is it that this man has had all his battles, public battles, has always been with women? And I just, that always sort of boggles my mind, because I don't recall him having any knockdown, drag out, character assassinations with anybody other than women. It's always been that way. And to be quite frank with you, I think his time has come, because on other networks that, when people have been alleged to do the things that he's alleged, people have, put him in the box of doing, they've been, moved out. I think at the CBS, they had Les Moonves, he had some issues and he was gone. So, when Kathy Griffin and Mariah and Nene Leakes and so many people have said that every time they are alone with him, that's so alleged, I don't know. But, there's these drug allegations, there's inappropriate touching, all type of stuff. So I'm just surprised he's lasted this long. And, living in New York City, being a part of the community, I've heard things, I don't know the man, whatever, but the streets here are very small in New York City. And you always hear things about Mr. Andy Cohen. Absolutely, you do. But I think that he's mean spirited. I think that he's biased. I think that he should have took a course in real journalism instead of being messy. I think his books. I read a couple of his books. He said his biggest regret was tricking Oprah at one point, because he lied. He lied and tricked her somehow as a little intern. So he's always been, not really. He didn't really have integrity for a long time. And so I'm just happy that maybe his time is coming, and I think it's funny too, Leo, that this week when he could have showed grace to Candace, he decided to shade her. Now I know, I'm not sure about anybody else, this woman's pregnant. So why in the hell would she lie about not wanting to stay on that crazy toxic program? She obviously left because she was pregnant. So he could have said that as a gentleman. He could, come on, Shan, he could have said that as a real gentleman, which he's not. But he went up there and he wanted to promote one of the Green Eye Bandits to say she's telling the truth. Well, of course, listen, it don't take Ray Charles to see that Robin was going to be fired because she was a hot, stinking, crappy, whiny, weak mess. I mean, we saw that coming 2 years ago.
Amen to that too.
Come on now, I'm going to say everything right now, because that man, he had this coming. So now here his turn is up and he's quiet, and the fire's turning up high. Every time you turn around, there's another lawsuit coming out. He got more lawsuits than he has hits on TV, to be honest with you. All his programs are going down the drain because he's mean spirited and nasty. And I think that Bravo could last without him, to be honest with you, because I get bored with those questions. I don't believe that he get those questions from Twitter. I really don't. I think he makes that kind of crap up with those nasty interns. I think that it'd be nice to have somebody who has a journal, who's fair, who can ask. I don't think you have to be mean to get good answers. I really don't. I think you can be smart and you can ask the ladies on the cast in a fair way questions that will keep the conversation moving. You don't have to have these gotcha nasty moments, because a lot of times in recent history, those things have fell flat. He was trying to be nasty, and I'm like, okay, is this the best you can do? So yeah, I guess you can tell I don't like Mr. Andy Cohen. I really don't. And like I said, New York City is very small, and I'm going to be very politically correct tonight, because this is a topic I know very well, but I'm going to keep my mouth shut, because I get too crazy when people talking about season, that those kind of crazy letters going around. So, but yeah, he can go. He can kick rocks and go somewhere fast.
And he don't have the best interest of the show in mind, I don't think.
And especially the black shows, I say. He's harder on I'm going to say that much really boldly. He's hard on the black shows. He sees the problems there. He's not willing to fix it. Now on the other shows like Beverly Hills, other stuff, he fixed those shows up real good, and those ratings go up and work. But when it comes to our shows, whether Married to Medicine and other stuff, they are a simple solution the audience are begging for them, and he literally won't do it. Just recently, Giselle should have gone. I mean, I like her. She's a nice woman. It's clear as day she's ruining that show. But why is she there? Because he don't care. He really don't. He does it to the black shows. Again, it's my opinion as all edge, but he's very hard on the black shows, in my opinion.
All right. Thank you so much, Mel. All right, Emmanuel, you're up.
Hey, look, I never liked Andy from day one. Kathy Griffin said that his talk show always gets magically renewed every year, even with the little views that he gets. But here's my thing. Until Bravo does right by Nene, everything they do is gonna fail. And speaking of Nene, allegedly she's getting a talk show on Sue, so we all gotta go support her on that. But yeah, I think it's time for Andy to step out. I blame him. I blame some of the executives, what they've done to the shows. I also blame some of the fans, because some of the fans can also get a little crazy on social media. Fire this one, fire that one. So it's just become very toxic, like reality TV as a whole. But I do think there's still hope. I know I could speak for Shan and I, because we both saw the reboot of Shawnee's Basketball Wives Orlando. And that was like a completely new reboot, completely new cast, and it was actually pretty good. So I feel like we just gotta have an open mind and cast better people and get better storylines. And then I was thinking, who could replace Andy? My first thought was Candy Burris, because I think she's like the longest running housewife ever, and she knows how it is.
We need personality to host.
That part. But then I remember you need personality. And here's the thing, that could not work because, the new star of the network, Phaedra, how is she going to interview her? So that would be problematic. But who I think will probably make a great host is Keke Palmer. What do y'all think about that?
Yeah, I can see that. And I think the lifespan of the reality TV shows as far as Housewives is concerned, you know who gave extra life to the Housewives is YouTubers.
Yes.
And bloggers. Recapping gave it another 2 or 3 years because the engagement is what happened to have had them stay on as long as they have. I think Keke, I'm gonna think on Keke. I think Keke will be great. That's if she watches the shows and if she's watching the characters on the shows or the talent on the shows for several seasons and not just one particular show that she's into. But she's a great host anyway, and I think I think that would be a great improvement for Bravo. But they got to improve the shows first, because I mean, nothing from nothing leaves nothing. So I don't know how that's gonna work. Maybe they need to get rid of Truly Original, because they ain't living up to their name.
Well, maybe they should do like a rotation of YouTubers or bloggers, because they're the one that discussing their shows. Look at Diva could be one day. I mean, one time. Rodney Speaks.
Empire.
Different people. Yeah, different bloggers.
Yeah, different ones.
That wouldn't work because a lot of them are biased to certain, not necessarily the people you name. I don't want people to get crazy. But a lot of them it's not an even playing field. You really need somebody that's neutral, professional, and that's going to be able to hold, like someone was saying, I caught it out my ear as I was get myself together.
Me.
You would need somebody that's really going to be neutral. So it will hardly be for Candy Burris because she doesn't speak to Phaedra, right?
Right.
And he already has problems with other people. It would be hard for it to be a Nene because Nene, you know, she has her feelings up front and she's been saying it for years anyway. Like this one should get fired, that one should get fired. You got to have somebody in there who's not going to be starstruck, who's going to keep it neutral and is going to call everybody out for who they are and what they're doing in the moment, regardless of how you feel about them. And, you know, so a big thing that a big error that Andy made, and they tell you this in the work world too, right? They tell you in the work world, like if you're going to become the manager, you got to remove yourself. You can't be hanging out with the folk and then you got to manage them because it's going to be hard. If they come to work late, you're going to have a blurred line there, right? Because you just hung out with them yesterday and now they come to work late. They're not seeing you as a manager, right? They're seeing you as an equal because you were out there partying with them. So you got to hire, you know, they said too much is given, much is required. So if you're going to be in a certain role, you got to be in that role and be able to be neutral and remove yourself and not have these favorites. Or if you do have a favorite, don't make it so obvious that everybody knows.
That's why we need Wendy Williams in her right mind. If she was in her right mind, she would have been the main one.
Diva,
Wendy Williams.
What about Bevy Smith? What do y'all think of that?
I like Bevy Smith a lot.
She
you
would
know
be
who
good.
could do it?
I love Bevy Smith.
So
Who, Shan?
much to the show, and we would love
Who?
New York from Flavor of Love. Okay, Tiffany Pollard.
She's a little crazy. She can't host. No.
She's not ready. She's
Girl,
so
she'll be up there fighting them people.
She's so performative. She's so performative. Yeah,
She'll be up there fighting.
You need a professional because it's a big job to have, right? Because it's across the board. It's all the shows. You need a professional. You need professional. Go ahead, Mel.
No, I was just going to say I agree with you 100%. You know what came to my mind? So reality shows, reality competition shows deal with this very well. I like Big Brother and I like Julie Chen. She deals with so many controversial things on that show, and she do it with grace. Like Sophie. Now I don't like her as a altogether because she had issues, but she do her job very well. There's another show called The Circle with this woman. She's a beautiful lady, and I've watched that show on Netflix, and she does a good job too because that's also controversial. So when I think of people who can deal with controversial topics right in the moment live, I think of those two, but also people of that nature, you know, who can just deal with whatever you throw at them. Andy, yeah. So I like where you're going because they need somebody of that kind of. You can't shake. Yeah, you can't
like
shake.
RuPaul.
Well, I like RuPaul now.
Well,
I like RuPaul, but Julie Chen is the top for me because she handles.
Yes, she anything.
Does. She can be a little shady too, which I like about her.
Yeah, but very professional at the end of the day.
Yes.
Very professional at the end of the day. She is, for sure. Who's next? Wayne, you're up.
Diva already went to Wayne.
Oh, you did. So everybody.
Already been out.
So is everybody good, Leo?
Yes, we can move.
Diva, can I say just one more thing? Last thing.
Yes.
I will say, the host who I personally have found to be the most professional. Do y'all remember that lady who hosted the very first Love and Marriage Huntsville reunion? I think her name's like Egypt.
No.
Okay, never mind then.
I remember her, but no.
You talking about Egypt Sharon?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it you know what? See, the thing is, you got to have a little flavor to you, right? You got to have a little personality. It's a tough shoe to fill, but you got to have a mixture of so many things in order to host. I got to think about it. I got to think who would be able to, you know, fill those shoes. But you got to have a lot of qualities in order to fill those shoes. And you got to watch because or else you're not going to be able to appropriately ask questions and help them come to some resolution and figure things out. So it's a lot. And then if you haven't been watching from the beginning because you're coming into existing shows, you would have to sit down and binge watch. You understand what I mean? From their season 1 to their season whatever. So you can catch yourself up. It's not going to be an easy job to fill if somebody's really going to do it well. Mm-hmm.
And can I say one thing?
You
Egypt,
can.
I don't think she would be a good host, but she has a great TV show with her husband where they renovate houses. I love that show. I like her, but not as a host.
Right. Claudia is a no. Al is a no.
Armand is a no.
I don't see a name yet. I don't see a name yet. Yeah. I don't see a name yet, but you know, it, like I said, it's not going to be an easy job to fill. It is not. Okay, so let's roll into this next story. Thank you so much, Leo. Let's roll into this next story. And this next story, I might as well go to the mom and daughter duo. We often talk here a lot about it starts at home. And we might have to do a trending topics on that one night. It starts at home. So, you know, we with the last night show and the kid in the high school that slapped the teacher, there's a follow-up already to that story too. And the follow-up was a lot of teachers that worked there in the past. They said they was not surprised. They saw it coming. They talked about how a lot of the parents be cursing and carrying on when they dropping the kids off to school, and how the parents got some mouths on them, and how the parents need to teach the kids that the teacher is not the enemy. The follow-up was, and maybe I'll do the follow-up show, maybe I don't know, if not tomorrow, maybe on the weekend or something, but the teacher was saying how, you know, you can't even now call these children's homes to talk about, you know, missing homework or whatever, because she said the parents go off. Isn't that a reversal in time? The parents go off. So I say it starts at home because you have a mother and daughter who decide to get together and do an illegal business, and not just an illegal business, a business where they're injecting silicone into people. And it's just like, American greed is serious. I could never be this desperate for money. I just could never. And you got to thank God for the small things that, you know, when you see silliness that people do, just making bad decisions, you got to thank God when it's not you. So an LA mom and daughter sentenced over fatal illegal butt lift that killed aspiring porn star hours after the injection. So a LA mother and daughter was sentenced to 4 years in prison each, and that's nothing, on Thursday for involuntary manslaughter of a wannabe P star they performed an illegal butt lift operation on. Libby, 53, and Alicia, 26, appeared at Los Angeles Superior Court, where they were sentenced in connection with the death of Carissa. I hope I'm saying her name right. She was 26-year-old South African actress. She's an aspiring adult film star, died at a hospital hours after the mother and daughter injected her buttocks with liquid silicone at a home in LA in October 2019. Look at the daughter. You come into the court all glammed up to get locked up. Okay. Hold on. Let me pause that. Both were just, you know, like baffled, right, as they were handcuffed by deputies and led off to be incarcerated. Until their arrest in August 2021, the pair had operated a business offering plastic surgeries on women for cash at a cut price rate in patients' home. First of all, you should know, if somebody's willing to come to your house and do a procedure, that's like not red flag right there. Despite not being trained or having a license to perform operations. Who gets an operation in their home? Who? Prosecutor says the mother and daughter offered the butt lifts to hundreds of customers. The young lady had undergone 2 similar buttock procedures from the woman before her fatal encounter. She even posted a video of herself to social media during one of the operations, after moving from South Africa to California in search of work. The mother and daughter charged with unaliving, which charged the patient $35,000 to $4,000 for her operation, whereas a board-certified butt lift would run her anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000. During the third procedure, she immediately became ill and lost consciousness as the chemicals entered her bloodstream and caused an embolism. When complications arose during the procedures, the mother and daughter dialed 911 and heartlessly left the home. First responders arrived and transported her to the hospital, where she died later the same day. The suspects fled the scene without identifying or informing the paramedics of the cosmetic procedure. As a result, the victim died in the emergency room with tending physicians unaware of the silicone injection. The Los Angeles Police Department said in a statement after the two were charged. LAPD Deputy Chief Alan Hamilton added, these individuals have no medical training. They're not experienced, and they're putting people's lives at risk. And all they got was 4 years. The exact cause of them unaliving was later determined to be acute cardiopulmonary dysfunction and intramuscular intravascular silicone injections. Prosecutors argue they should both have known about the dangers of silicone injections because they had worked with somebody in a salon who did the same thing and their patient died in 2018 because the procedure was carried out by one of their colleagues. The French attorney told the jury the pair had no malice towards the young lady and were unaware of the risk. Do you think unaliving people is a way to build a successful business, he said, according to the Orange County Register. This is the young lady that unfortunately lost her life. That is her when she was showing a video, and you can see that's a bedroom. You see the bed? Who gets a procedure done at home? Unbelievable. They wanted to do a good job. Silicone injections are not approved for use in anesthetic procedures in the U.S., and the Food and Drug Administration has warned against them since at least 2017. Silicone injections can lead to long-term pain, infections, and serious injuries, such as scarring and permanent disfigurement, embolism, blockage of a blood vessel, stroke, and death, the regulator said. That's the daughter. That's how she came to court the day that she got sentenced and locked up. And that's her mama. And the mama trying to cover up her ankle bracelet that was on her foot. What a mess. It is estimated that as many as 1 in 3,000 patients have died as a result of undergoing a Brazilian butt lift. The procedure known as a BBL for the nationality of the doctor said to have invented is usually involves injecting fat into the buttocks to reshape them and add volume. The treatment has the highest death rate of all aesthetic surgery, according to American Society of Plastic Surgeons. The mother and daughter were initially slapped with second-degree unaliving charges, but later downgraded to the lesser charge of involuntary manslaughter because the jury believed the mother and daughter didn't act with malice when they injected their victim. The mother was found guilty of 3 counts of performing a medical procedure without a license, while the daughter was found guilty of 2 counts of the same. Both women had pleaded not guilty. The jury reached their verdict after deliberating for about 7 hours. So someone's not here. This is crazy. Bad decisions on both ends. Bad decision on the mother-daughter part, bad decision on the patient part that lost her life. Leo, your thoughts?
This young lady went there 2 times and then went there for a 3rd time. So she found that their procedures were successful. Somebody coming to your house to give you a BBL with some silicone injections. And it's unfortunate. My condolences go to the family. But look, we got to do better. Now, we got to think. It is not that important to put your life in danger for an aesthetic. And why not go to the best and pay the money? If you don't have the money to pay for professionals, then you don't need to get it.
Come on now.
You don't need to get it. It ain't in your price range. Your safety is more important than having to have people, your family, so slow walking behind you because you done went and got some people to come to your bedroom to give you a BBL. A BBL? Really?
Mm.
And I may be biased because I got too much junk in the trunk.
Ah.
So, I'm just biased. It's not that important to me. But come on, people, come on. And this happened in 2021. We already knew the stories even by then that this was a totally unsafe procedure. But like I said, she already went there twice and nothing happened then. So she went there for a third dose. Dealing with these women. And the 4 years that they got, I think I think that is ridiculous. Like Katrina would say, I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Unaliving somebody and you only get 4 years.
And you practicing without a license.
I mean, so if they would have had a pow, that would have been, I just, people need to change the laws.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be more consequences for practicing without a license than just 4 years.
I agree with you. Thank you, Leo. In my opinion,
I really need my sisters to love the body that you're blessed with. To learn to love yourself. You don't need all that stuff. And if by some chance you do think you need it, if you can't afford to go to a licensed doctor, I urge you not to go. Save your money and do it the right way. If you just have to do it, but your body don't need all that.
yeah, it's sad. Thank you. In my opinion, Shan, you're up.
This is a sad story. Condolences to her family. But I feel like if you're gonna do anything, you need to research. No matter what it is, I hope, because safety first. Like you said, Diva, that would have been a red flag. Like coming to your house to do a procedure. It's like, but I don't think they got enough time for taking a life. That's the injustice we talk about. Because it's like you have people who do stuff in self-defense and they get life or whatever. And then it's like you really committed M, basically. Because, the PE was caused from doing the surgery. And people don't understand there's like all these risks. So if you're going to do anything, be safe, and condolences to her family.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's very sad. It's and yeah, the whole thing is sad. Katrina, you're up.
First of all, you got medical professionals that have did this to people and they was unalive. Y'all did this. You did it twice. You test your luck twice. You got over twice. And then you go back for a third. She must not been watching TV. Have she seen K Michelle? K Michelle did the same thing and look what she had to do to her body. She got holes and stuff everywhere. Then you go to this woman that's doing it, that's not licensed. The reason why they probably gave them less time was because she's done it with them before. And that's probably why they got the time that they got. But the thing of it is, you let somebody come to your house and pump you with silicone. You don't even know if it's really silicone. You don't know what they're injecting you with. And you laying down there and letting that happen. And then also, they didn't give a darn about you no way, because what they did, they would have stuck around for the ambulance. They called the ambulance and skedaddled. That's why I'm trying to figure out, how did the people know who did it? She must have something, a phone or something to connect them, because they was gone when the ambulance got there. And like you said, 3,000 for a BBL. First of all, you're not even removing the fat. You just putting in silicone. So you're getting cheated that way. Then you going to this lady that knows somebody that already unalived somebody, and they want to take up doing it. I mean, these people are crazy. You got this dentist out there in Las Vegas putting on false braces and false veneers. These false teeth is dropping off. They chipped and dropping off, and they looking a mess. And then she went to jail. She get out of jail, and she's still doing the same thing. She around there making fake teeth and fake bracelets. I mean, I don't get it. And then they do it with no problem. Like, I'm not gonna get caught. If I do get caught, oh well, I just pay the fine and get out and go and do what I got to do to another place. But it's just ridiculous. If you want to do these dangerous surgeries to your body, and they all look the same, they look like chickens because their butt is big and their legs are little. They're shaped like chickens. But so if you want to go out and look like a chicken, because those things you have to keep an upkeep with that. Because when you have a BBL, it's just not the BBL. You have to keep it upkeep. So that's why a lot of them you see their body be dropping because they're not upkeeping it. It takes money. So if they want to go around looking like a half cocked chicken and getting these dangerous surgeries, may not wake up, and if you do wake up, you might be botched. So I mean, just take it with a grain of salt. I'm done.
Thank you. Thank
One
you.
more thing, Diva.
Yeah.
One more thing.
Yeah,
One,
of course.
one thing I can say from the pictures that you show me in the article, those young women, the daughter and the mother, they went and got professional work. Did
They
y'all
sure
notice
did.
that?
Yes,
They
sure
went to the
did.
real people and got their work. Okay.
Yeah, well, when they
Marinate on
went
that.
the $4,000, and my thing is, I did the math. They said because you are correct, she was there twice before, so this was her third time. If they doing $3,000 a pop, you could have just went ahead and paid the $10,000 to the real doctor.
But the mother and daughter went and got the real doctor to get their work done because their bodies is looking right. They went to the real people.
No, I know that. I'm following you, but I'm just saying, this girl, you done spent $9,000 with them. Because you went, this is your third time.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So you might as well have went to the professional.
Yeah, I got you.
You're up. It's sad.
Well, yes, it is sad, and condolences to the family.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to make sure that, we are mindful that everybody involved made a choice. Yes, the mother and daughter, they made a choice to go into this business, and there's a risk associated with that, right? Just like it's a risk for selling pills and it's a risk with stealing cars. Yes, there's a risk for that. But this young lady, she took the risk too. And somebody who goes to somebody for 3 separate rounds of shots is someone who is satisfied with the choice that they made. And she was satisfied with the work. That's why she kept coming back. Yes, she could have spent $10,000 and went to the real thing, but $10,000 3 times would have been $30,000. And so the bottom line is green. And I'm assuming she didn't go to the real to a professional or certified doctor because either one, she couldn't afford it, or two, it was too time consuming, or three, no doctor wanted to touch her for whatever the reason. Those could be the only 3 options. But a lot of young girls don't mind taking shortcuts. In the article you read, it said 1 in 3,000. I mean, yeah, 1 in 3,000 lose their life. That's a small number, but I'm just thinking, as the girls who I know and who I have listened to their stories, the first thought in their mind is, oh, that ain't gonna be me. I'm healthy, I'm young. Cardi B did it. So I can understand why the mother and daughter got 4 years. I don't have a problem with that. I agree with the jury. I probably would have voted. I would have, my thought process would have been the same way. I don't think it was malice involved. I don't think they did it on purpose. They were doing something. It was bootleg, and an accident occurred. They fled the scene like most people do when they're scared and they know that they've done something wrong, and they're running for their safety because ultimately they knew they weren't certified. They didn't have a license to practice, but I don't think they did it on purpose. And it's sad. It's unfortunate that someone lost their life. But as long as girls are taught to prioritize beauty over safety, we're going to see a lot more of it. So those are my thoughts on that.
I appreciate you, but I want to say this. It was bad decisions all the way around for all of those involved. But had they stayed around and said, look, you know what? We injected her with silicone. Maybe on the way to the hospital, the paramedics, the doctors, and everybody could have perhaps done something a little bit differently to save her life with the information of knowing that this girl was injected with silicone. For that alone, if I was there in that jury or the lawyer or whatever the case may be, I would have stuck it to them. And I wouldn't have allowed this charge, or I would have fought for this charge not to be dropped down to manslaughter. Okay, so one thing, you did it. You knew you were not licensed. There should be, to me, there should be some charges for that, for acting like a doctor or a plastic surgeon, and you know that's not who you are. So then that in and of itself is causing harm because you're misrepresenting who you are. Now I don't know if I don't know for sure, but I want to beg to differ that they told this woman that we just clueless, we don't know what we're doing. I doubt they were selling that procedure that way. I bet you they were selling it. We done it before. We know what we're doing. This is safe. Dot da da, and boo boo boo.
But if she done it 3 times, she know what she's getting. They did this to her 3 times.
I know they did it to her 3 times, and I get what you're saying. She kept coming back. But I still am not going to roll with the fact that just because she kept coming back, it's like you going to the bank thinking that, you know what, you going to a person that is helping you invest your money, and then you find out on the back end it was a whole scam. Well, you kept going back.
Or
But
maybe
no, that's different because what she's not these girls who go to these backdoor people or have these people come to their home, they know that they're not certified professionals. They know that they're not licensed. They know that this is silicone. They're doing it anyway. It's not a misrepresentation. The girls know.
So I'll give you the, well, let me throw, I work with you here. Let's call it even on that. But the fact is, you still, as the one that's putting it in this particular person, you know from the onset that you are doing something wrong. I'm sorry. I think they should have got more time. I think 4 years is nowhere near enough. And then I would have cut them some slack. But, and I'll give you this. I'm going to back up a little bit. At least they called the paramedics, because I remember there was, I want to say it was out of Harlem, New York City. It was a black girl that was doing it, and she didn't even call the paramedics. She left the girl there to die, and she did die.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's a natural instinct. We talked about that in my psychology class. When people get scared, their first instinct, some people, not all people, some people, their first instinct is to run. I can understand that. I wouldn't do it personally. I'm not going to be injecting anybody, but I can understand how that played out. It makes sense.
But
I see what you're saying, Diva, because
Trina, hold on. What doesn't make sense though is that the fact that they were practicing a medical procedure and someone was unalived. It would be different if they were caught and this girl was still alive. 4 years, okay. She is unalived. They were practicing medicine without a license.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
But I see what Diva's saying. I see what Diva's saying too, because it's just like when these people call in prescriptions pretending to be a doctor to get narcotics. When they get caught, they get 10 years. So I see what you're saying, because they're pretending like they're medical professionals, and when they get caught, they get 10 years.
Yeah, this is just full. It's bad decisions all around, and it's just a hot mess. Where am I at? Am I at Tay?
Yes, Steve. First of all, I want to say condolences to the family first, because 1, I'm fine with my body, and 2, that stuff right there is toxic. It's bad for your health, and it's not good for you. And 3, why would I listen to somebody tell me, "Oh, that's good for my body"? No. I already have somebody who is professional, who know what to do with that stuff right there. And I'm with you, Diva. I wish they had more time in jail too, because 1, after 4 years they get out, they're probably gonna do the same thing over after they get out of jail. Better hope they ain't gonna do it. All I say, they better keep it low file, and everybody knows their face too. That's all, Devo.
I appreciate you, Tay Tay. Mel, you're up.
Well, you know what? For me, I just want to say, rest in peace to the victim, and God bless to her family. And I think too that they needed more time. And for me, is because I think it would have set an example. Because this kind of procedure seems to be so hard to regulate, especially if people are using things that are not really medically, graded. So you can get it from wherever you get it from. So it's hard for the government and the people to track, as they do with different chemicals. So I guess this is really like the wild west. So if you happen to get a case in your court that's so hard to prove, and unless something tragic happens, I probably would make an example of them, just so that people who are listening go, oh, okay, now if something happens, we're going to get 20 years. So we better not be out here giving people stuff from Home Depot or whatever it is. So yeah, I think that they definitely need more time. It's scary, but unfortunately, I think as he said, people always looking for deals, and I think this is going to continue, and that's why it's sad that it wasn't a stronger, sentence, because it's not going to scare people, unfortunately, from doing it again. It's easy money, and it's hard to track down, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's very sad. Wayne, you up?
I guess maybe I'm the only one in the United States. I just learned a few months ago what BBL stood for. I never could understand. I said, what does this stand for? I knew it had something to do with the body, doing to the body. But anyway, I think, she may have gone to a professional doctor. Now, I don't know where the doctor probably told her, said, sweetie, you don't have enough fat for us to remove. She wasn't no big girl. Where was they going to get the fat from?
That's a good point.
And
Come on, Wayne.
they couldn't, say, no, we can't do it. We can't do it. But when people want stuff done, they find somebody that will. And
That's
she
right.
found somebody
That's right.
that will. Because I didn't see enough fat on her body that would give her some cheeks like that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, I do think they should have gotten more time, because if I go out here and run over somebody in my car and I'm scared and I leave the scene, and that person passes away, I don't see the difference. They got scared, they ran away.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think they should have got more time. Yeah, I know the woman, she went there, but at the same time, you're doing something illegal.
That's true.
Doing something illegal. So I'm not saying, they should have got life with it, but it should have been some more time for a deterrent for somebody else to come through and think you're going to do that. And the other thing, I was getting at the eye doctor one year, getting my annual physical for my contacts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just happened to mention to the doctor, I said, ask for about LASIK, right? He said, no, I don't do LASIK. He said, but I got some friends that have a mom and pop operation in their basement. I looked at him, I said, do you think I would go in somebody's basement and have them do something to my eyes? Oh no, it's not like that. It's not like that. I'm like, no, I'll pass on this one.
Finna turn you to Stevie Wonder.
I hope that was the last visit too for that doctor. I hope they never went back to that man again or that person.
No, I've been Sam's Club or Costco.
Ooh, that is a mess.
He said, oh, I got some friends that have a mom and pop operation in their basement. I couldn't believe it. That's it.
Ooh, thank you, Wayne. It's a very sad story. Did I get to everybody? I think I did, right? Very sad story. Bad decisions, but you are right. I didn't think about it till you said it. There wasn't enough fat on her body, but that was probably God was trying to tell her, son, you don't need this, baby girl. and she found somebody that was giving her butt injections, and now she's no longer here. I'm very sad, so sad. All right, we're gonna roll right into this last story, and this last story is another bad decisions. I just don't understand people. Like, you want a selfie that bad, and Leo, I hate to do this to you. This day, North Carolina. Let me just
I'm not surprised. They act the fool in North Carolina.
Let me see. All right.
They try to catch alligators down here, Leo.
So a group snatches bear cubs out of a tree just to take selfies with them in disturbing clip. Just so sad. Let me see. Let me just get it back to the beginning here.
Should we go to the off? I don't know what to do. Oh my God.
They're really trying to grab them out of the tree.
She's holding it. She's got one. She's holding the bear.
The other guy's grabbing the other one.
Yep. You idiot. So she can say, here, take my picture and put it all over media. I'm holding a black bear. No.
That's insane. That's 100% what she's doing. She's taking pictures of it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did she just drop it? Oh my gosh, it's running, the poor little thing.
It wants to get back to its brother or sister. Oh, and it can't because it's too small.
The poor thing.
Put it back. It's scared.
All for a picture. So an unsettling video shows a group of people carelessly ripping bear cubs out of a tree to snap some selfies in North Carolina. The group of about 6 people was caught on video Tuesday, pulling 3 scared black bear cubs out of a tree over a fence in apartment complex. Let me see. During the video, several of the individuals seen posing with the cubs, with one person even dropping one while holding it. Another cub was seen frantically running away from the group, trying to get back over the fence. Police were called and enlisted the help of North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission Special Projects biologist Ashley Hubbs. Hubbs says she saw the video of the 3 cubs, but only one remained when she got on the scene. We did follow up with the people who pulled the bear out of the tree, Hobbs told the outlet. We did confront them on site that day and let them know how irresponsible and potentially deadly it could be for that cub to be separated from his mom, especially ripped out of a tree like that. It's a shame what they did. The wildlife specialist said it was uncommon for the mother bear to leave her cubs unattended in a tree this time of year. The one cub appeared to be very wet and cold, Hobbs noted. She suspects the cubs have probably been left alone for a long time. With the cub being on its own for an unknown amount of time, now being separated from the others and having humans take it from safety, the ordeal left the little critter shaken. What do you think? We do think that the bear probably had a pretty traumatic experience, Hobbs told the outlet. The cub was taken to a rehab facility for evaluation and will eventually be released back into the wild. While no serious damage was done, she said, this video is still baffling. It's frustrating to see people be that irresponsible around wildlife, because it is a blessing that we get to live in the mountains around these creatures. Though it's rare to see such blatant disregard for wildlife, Hod hopes this can be an educational experience for those involved. Jody Williams, founder of Help Asheville Bears, also saw the video and was shaken by the carelessness of those involved. All for a selfie, Williams told the outlet. It's just ignorance, total selfishness. This is not what we talk about when we talk about coexisting. Williams said more people living around wildlife, especially bears, need to educate themselves on the do's and don'ts of which is never to grab a cub. One of which is never to grab a cub. The most common bears in North America are the black bear and the grizzly are the brown bear. If ever encountering a bear in the wild, one should always keep their distance and do their best not to surprise it, whether it's a cub or a full grown, according to U.S. National Park Service. It's vital to avoid a female bear with her cubs. Never get between them or attempt to approach them. Doing so dramatically increases the mother's likelihood of attacking to protect her cubs. It's a shame. All of that for a selfie. Leo, you're up.
Too many people who have not been accustomed to wildlife and nature and the cadence of what it is for a cub or a yinling or anything like that from their children and the parents. These people are not in any way thinking about that. The only thing they were thinking about was that selfie. And not even knowing how much danger they would have been in if that mama bear would have seen that. Everybody would have been wiped out. People think that bears, because they are big, they move slow. A bear can move 35 miles an hour, which means that humans only can run about 6 or 7 miles an hour. And that's the fastest human being. If she would have been anywhere near them grabbing those people grabbing those cubs, they would have been wiped out, fence or no fence. They jump fences, they climb trees. Bears will take you out. They will come and get you. So it's just not, it's so, to me, how people live in their own bubble and only think about what they want and what they trying to do in the moment and not thinking about any other experience, not thinking about any other consequences for their actions. We would have been talking about a whole nother story if that mama bear had been in close proximity.
You sure would have. And they were snatching them out of the tree.
It's just crazy to me. I don't even like zoos. To be honest with you, I've been to zoos. Most of them, you get locked in, you can't get out. They want to charge you $10 for a bottle of water. I don't like zoos, okay? And I'm definitely not going to snatch no cub out the trees to take no selfie.
No.
That ain't me. But I don't do wildlife like that. I don't do wildlife like that. That ain't my thing. But yeah. And they got off light. I wish the mama bear was there too. Not to unalive anybody, but just to get the fear of, it's human beings. And it's also this thing too that I feel like people see people and animals as just objects and not connected to earth and not connected to the circle of life. They see human beings like that. They see animals like that, not even connected to the circle of life. And it's tragic.
It is.
And it's only going to get worse.
Ooh. In my opinion, you're up.
I think this is sad on so many different occasions and for so many different reasons, because you wouldn't want somebody snatching your kid out the tree. Well, to that bear, this is their kid. Okay, this is their baby. I just don't understand how we take disregard for our animals. And let me tell you something. First of all, I ain't messing with no bears anyway. No snakes, none of them. All of them can stay where they is. As long as they don't bother me, I ain't bothering me. I just, baby, y'all better be glad, okay? Mama Bear was nowhere to be found because she was not gonna stop until she had towed they behind up. And baby, ooh, when they get mad, they is mad. But I'm worried about the bears because they put the sit on them. And if y'all know anything about animals, if you touch a bird or a baby bear or any of them, the mom usually turns away from those cubs because the scent, the human scent that's on them. And so I hope that's not the case, and these cubs are gonna be now on their own because you got your human scent on them. So this is so sad on so many different occasions.
Yeah, it's very sad. E, you're up.
Well, what I saw was the bears in their natural habitat, and I saw the people who were perpetrating and violating them doing what comes best in their nature. These are the same people that stole 12 million Africans and shipped them over here through the Middle Passage because they were too lazy to do their own work. Okay, so it doesn't strike me as odd that these are the same people who have no boundaries or respect for the stolen land from which they live on, and that you see something in the tree and you want to snatch it down so you can take a picture and then drop it on the ground when you get finished with it.
Mm.
You know, um, no, I think everyone is in their natural habitat, and Mother Nature will restore balance when it is time.
Thank you,
Mhm.
E. Mel, you're up.
I agree with what everybody was saying. I think that that the people are very lucky that the mama wasn't there because yeah, they would have got ripped to shreds. I think for me personally, I remember, all I had to see was that the ape, I think the monkey, rip apart the woman's face a couple of years ago and just tore her all up. And for me, that was it. I would never go approach anything that I don't know, especially if it's in a zoo or anywhere else. And I wish I would risk my life for a picture. These people, they better go find an app, find an AI app, and put your face on it, and they'll put you in the mountain, underwater, in space, everywhere you want to go, and you don't have to risk your life. You don't really, in this day and age, you really don't have to do that much. You don't have to go over the cliff or into the zoo or safari to get the picture that's going to get a lot of views. You can literally go to an app, and they will make an AI image behind you. I was just watching a conference with Google, and the technology is there. You don't have to do all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm definitely, I would not be risking my life for no picture. Absolutely not. Leave the wildlife alone because the cutest thing in nature would rip you to shreds. And it's not even their fault. They just are feeling threatened, and they go from cute to dangerous within a second. So, just be respectful of nature. Don't lose your life over a picture. It's not worth it.
Yeah, sad. Tay Tay?
They ain't got no home training. And tell that I'm not gonna risk my life either. I'm just gonna take a picture with somebody, not with an animal. No, because they be lucky that Mama Bear and Papa Bear ain't gonna shred them either. Because imagine both parents, if you touch one of the cubs, your life is in danger right there. Thank God for Mama Bear and Papa Bear ain't not there either. Yeah, just don't have no home training. That's all.
That part right there.
Thank you, Tay Tay. Shan, you're up.
Listen, my sister got a cat last year and I almost broke my neck running from the cat. Okay? Really, I ran down the stairs so fast. The little cat ran out the room. I almost died. I'm scared of all animals. This is the thing. People do anything for clout, and I just don't have much commentary for stupidity. Because if the mama bear was protecting and there, like everybody else said, then it's like, just don't bother people, things, animal that doesn't bother you. Go to the zoo, do what you do, but I don't see the need to try to pick up a bear and take a picture, like unnecessary foolishness. And so That's it. Because they say if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say it. So
I hear you. Thank you so much, Chan. Katrina, you're up.
I feel like this. Now, if it was the other way around, they would have quickly said, unalive that bear or unalive them cubs if the bears would have snatched them out the tree or something like that. The same way they killed that, they unalive that silverback when the lady wasn't paying attention to her child and he fell in the pit where the gorilla was at. So they killed the silverback because this woman wasn't paying attention to her own child. Now, if those was people in that bushes and the bear snuck them down like that, they wanted the bears to be unalive. So I think they should have got a harder consequence than what they got, just saying they did the wrong thing. And like
Did I lose everybody?
no, we're here.
Yeah, I think something happened with Katrina,
Here,
right? All right. Wayne, you're up.
The bears
I
got
think
to the
Katrina's back.
internet.
The Cubs got to stop it. E. Go ahead, Wayne.
Oh, I was pretty much going to say the same thing what Katrina was saying. You know, the sad part about it is that bear had been there, and they did
Woo.
that and attacked the people. Then the game warden would have they would have come, and they would have put the bear down. Now you have 3 orphan cubs. You know, people don't think about that, you know, when they're doing things like that, you know, interfering with nature. And second, if I saw 3 little bears like that, I'd be trying my best to get as far away from them as I could, because usually mama's not too far away.
That's facts.
And bears, as big as they are, when they walking, you can't hear them.
Mm.
They come through the woods, you can't even hear them. Their paws are so big, and when they start, you know, I just watched a documentary and saw that, and they were saying they were showing the bear is there, but you can't hear him because of the paws. So I'm glad it turned out in a way, you know, that hopefully, you know, if they can find the mother or something, but it could have been a whole lot different if mama had been there.
They would have been a done deal. Thank you,
Mm-hmm.
Wayne. Emmanuel, you're up.
Let me tell you something. I agree with E. Some of the people are so entitled. They feel like they can do whatever they feel like the world is theirs and they can go around causing destruction not just to humans but also to animals. Now, with that being said, something about me that y'all might not know is I do not like animals at all. I don't even like cats nor dogs. If I see someone walking down the street with 2 big dogs, I'm gonna go to the other side because I don't even want those dogs around me. So like, get your dogs away from me, your cats, everything. So I'm definitely not gonna be messing with Mother Nature because these are animals. They're wild creatures, you know. So interfere and see what happens.
Yeah, they are so fortunate that the mama bear wasn't there, and actually they could not find. I don't know if you caught the end of the story. They couldn't find the other bears. That by the time wildlife got there, the only one that was still there was the one that unfortunately couldn't get back to the brothers and the sisters.
And sorry.
Go ahead.
If I could say one more thing, it's kind of unrelated but also related. This is just me personally. Even though I do not like the animals, I have like I'm against some of the people who like to hunt because a lot of these animals are becoming extinct. Like the elephants, there's not a lot of them no more. So people are like hunting them and then they're getting extinct. So I just want to say that.
Yeah, it's very sad. So they're fortunate. Now, I have to research to get the other story that I was talking about, where the girl died in a Harlem basement because they came and gave injections, and when they saw that she was in distress, they just left her there. But unfortunately, there's a bunch of stories like this. But it happened in Queens. But these particular individuals, they did get charged with. Let me see where it is. They got charged with unauthorized practice of a professional. And they got more time than this other family did, which I don't understand. But I just want to play this real quick, and then I'm gonna go into my feel good story.
National day in court as a woman was sentenced for administering an illegal cosmetic injection that led to another woman's death. Allison Spence will serve a maximum of 8 years in prison for the cosmetic procedure that killed Letitia Bynum, the victim, a mother of 2 children. Here's Eyewitness News reporter NJ Burkett.
I want her to see what she did to my child. You need to see this for the rest of your life while you in that prison. I want her to see this.
Birdie Bynum left the courthouse in disgust. Her 31-year-old daughter Letitia died after industrial-grade silicone was injected into her behind. A crude cosmetic procedure that left her in an irreversible coma hours after it was administered in an apartment in Gramercy Park in the summer of 2017. Allison Spence pleaded guilty to second-degree manslaughter, a 45-year-old woman, unlicensed, with no medical training. Nearly 2 years after her daughter's death, Letitia's mother is still seething.
You knew you wasn't no nurse. You knew you didn't go to no medical school. So what right you had to shoot anything in my child?
She spoke for nearly 10 minutes, but through it all, Allison Spence never turned around to face her victim's mother. Allison Spence looked down and apologized to Letitia's family, saying that she was truly sorry, mumbling that she regrets every moment of what she did. Ms. Bynum, who covered her ears, chose not to listen.
The world needs to know and watch out for these people. I couldn't save my child, but I pray that my daughter's death saved a lot of people.
Allison Spence will serve at least 2 years in prison. Her accomplice, Kevin Richardson, will have to serve a minimum of 4 years. Cosmetic silicone injections have been illegal in the United States since the 1960s because they can lead to blocked arteries and pulmonary embolisms.
Welcome to the Credit Karmaverse, a place where financial progress can happen at the speed of delight.
It seemed like they got a little harsher sentence than the story I just read, but it's either way. It's very sad, and it's when I Google it, it's not uncommon. There's like story after story on that particular situation, but like I said, the story that yeah, Lorraine, you know, I ain't want to go there, but you know what, we can segue because my end story is about this thing. You're right. Yeah, she black, diva. Color makes a difference in sentencing. It sure does. You know, thank you for that, Lorraine. You helped me segue right into my story that I'm going to end with tonight. You know, unfortunately, and this is another thing, kind of connection with the whole Andy Cohen thing, with the colorism thing that has been going on and brought up. If you never saw on Netflix, I think it came out, I don't know if it was 2 years ago. I can't remember how long ago it came out, but it might still be on Netflix. It was a show called Passing. And there's, you know, there's a history behind passing. And passing is that you're black or you have some form of a drop of black in you or something like that. Or, you know, one of your parents are black, but you can pass as other than black, and the benefits that come along with that. So let me go, just give us time. This is a really good piece, y'all. It's a little long, but hang in there because I really feel that it is worth it. So let's look at this. It's 9 minutes, but it's worth it.
I seen Passing, Diva.
I did too.
Are in the pre-Civil War South. Now, Michelle Miller tells us, a new movie based on a nearly 100-year-old novel explores this very complex subject.
Viola, we've been looking everywhere for you. Are you talking to me?
It's been a theme in Hollywood for years.
I'm your mammy.
From imitation of life.
Do I look like her daughter? Do I look like I could be her daughter?
One thing.
To the human stain.
When you meet the guy from Pitt, don't tell him you're colored, okay?
Don't tell him.
Don't bring it up. You're neither one thing nor the other.
And off-screen, the subject of passing, crossing the color line, is just as complex.
The world perceives me as white, at least visually.
Chicago lawyer Martina Hone says she's lived her whole life balancing her Black mother's identity with her European father's privilege.
Have you ever passed at any point in your life?
I've never passed intentionally. I have never like thought to myself, I'm going to go in here and pretend that I'm white. You walk into a room, people assume you have the power of a white person in this country, you know, and that experience is not the same experience that most Black people have in this country.
So this is a family that is clearly Black.
Mm-hmm.
You're just somewhat the exception.
I'm just on the melanin challenged end of the family spectrum.
Lisa Funderburg is the author of Black, White, Other, and also Mixed Race.
So there are all of the advantages that come with appearing to be white, right? You can get a cab, you're not followed in stores, but it also means others expose their racism to you. They do it in comments, they do it in behaviors, and you're a witness to it. That is me with my dad.
She says passing describes when a member of a particular group is perceived as a member of another.
I've talked to people who are gay who talk about being straight passing. No one they encounter will necessarily know the full breadth of their identity unless they choose to tell it to people. And it is up to you to either disabuse them of that notion or to correct that or to challenge that or not.
So you haven't ever thought to? What? You ever thought of passing? No, why should I?
This week, a new film will put passing into the spotlight again.
I'm trying to find out the history of the blonde you've brought along.
Things aren't always what they seem.
I'll be damned.
Based on the 1929 novel by Harlem Renaissance writer Nella Larson, the movie called Passing tells the story of two Black women, one who actively passes for white, the other who does not.
This is my husband, John Bellew. Does he know?
Rebecca Hall directed the film.
It's saying it's about racial passing, but is it also about these other modes of performance, these other binaries, male, female, gay, straight? Identity is this sort of cross-section between the story we tell about ourselves and the one that society puts on us. Buenos dias.
Buenos dias, Julio.
Julio.
Best known for her role in Vicky Cristina Barcelona, Hall is making her directorial debut.
I mean, I spent all the pre-production here. And,
To pull it off, she spent time in Harlem at the Schoenberg Center for Research in Black Culture and filmed on this street.
You know, everyone said it's too big a scope, it's too arty, it's too ambitious, it's too formal, it's too black and white, it's too all the twos, and here we are.
What have you told them?
Ruth Nega and Tessa Thompson are her stars.
And you're happy?
Of course, sweetie. As you say, I have everything I ever wanted.
To have the privilege of ambiguity as a protagonist on screen is really rarefied as women characters, particularly women of color.
Did it cause you to reflect on who you saw yourselves as?
Oh, it's all, for me, it's about belonging. Everybody, every person of color or anybody who's marginalized or different. It's as simple as when you walk in a room, you scan it, and you do it unconsciously. The two words for me, safety and belonging.
Both actors say they've been faced with stereotypes of racial conformity.
I've had that experience from various viewpoints of, but you're not really black, or, but you're not black. I mean, it's amazing what someone can do with the intonation of their one's voice, you know.
I remember growing up this idea of like, you don't talk black, you don't talk like that, you know, which there shouldn't be a uniform idea in terms of blackness.
There's probably a time when we all engaged in some form of passing.
Stanford historian Allison Hobbs has written a history of racial passing in America.
Perhaps somebody made an assumption about us and we went with it.
Hobbs says passing dates back to the time of slavery, first as a means of escape and survival, then later on in the 20th century in response to so-called one-drop rules, which made it legal to discriminate against anyone with any black blood. Still, some in the Black community consider the act of passing as a betrayal of their identity. And remember, passing wasn't always black and white.
Someone who is from a lower socioeconomic status might decide that they want to pass as someone of a higher socioeconomic status. A woman might want to serve in the military, if we think about the period before women were able to serve in the military, and might decide to pass as a man. During the period when Chinese people were excluded from coming into the United States, sometimes Chinese immigrants would pass as Mexican.
Of course, today, with the world becoming more multiracial, Hobbes says passing is almost a thing of the past. Still, there are lingering effects.
The person who passed had to sever their relationships with their family, their friends. There were very high emotional stakes to passing.
Something director Rebecca Hall discovered firsthand.
My grandfather was African American and passed white.
Hall is the daughter of British director Peter Hall and American opera singer Maria Ewing. She says telling the story of passing also meant confronting her own family history, which included some uncomfortable conversations with her mother.
Because I did pretty much all my life look at her and think, you look like a Black woman to me.
Wow.
But it was not something that was really spoken about. Like, she then did tell me about some incidents of pretty ugly racism towards her and her father when she was a kid. And she told me that she asked him once, and he just looked at the floor and said, you know, I did it all for you.
Hall unearthed the Black heritage she says she's proud of.
And there are huge amounts of people, extraordinary people that did extraordinary things. Black people that were proud to be Black. And my mother doesn't know that. You know, she didn't know her own grandfather's name. Sorry.
This is emotional.
You think they'd be satisfied being white?
Who's satisfied being anything?
Hall has dedicated her film,
For all of us passing for something or other?
a 13-year-long labor of love, to her mother.
Aren't we?
I think I want it to invite a place that's about the gray areas. Often what's left for us to determine is who's the good guy and who's the bad guy. But I think it's the place of art to look at the shades of that in between. Because if you end up being too rigid about who you think you ought to be, you turn into a powder keg. That's the moral of the story.
Whew. I know it was a lot. I thought it was just a good video to kind of like see and how emotional, you know, she is, and is going back to her mother's history of, you know, the father hid who they were so that her mother can have a better life. This conversation, and that's why I don't like the way that Bravo, whether it's intentionally or non-intentional, that they're playing around with this color line, because it's deep rooted and it's not right and it's hurtful and it destroys lives and it's destroying the cast members, and then that destruction trickles onto the fans and onto the YouTube discussions that have people going at each other, and this thing is bigger than they know. And I don't want to, you know, fight over this piece I'm about to say, but just as Taboo, Wendy, and Nneka was saying their situation was that should have never been spoken about, this whole colorist thing is very taboo and is very hurtful, and it breaks down the community. Just a 60 seconds if you want to say something before I close out. Anything you want to say, Leo?
I love the movie Imitation of Life, the original one. I love where Mahalia Jackson sings at the funeral. I love that movie. But what I can say on an educational level, I'm a Pan-Africanist, which I accept all African descendants within the diaspora. And so people really need to evaluate what they feel is valuable to your culture and where you come from and who you are about. And that means all people. Because at the end of the day, we are all a part of the human race, and it needs to be valued. All of it.
Yeah. I appreciate you, Leo. Thank you. E, 60 seconds. My Dolores E. Tay, 60 seconds.
You can skip me, Diva.
Okay. Shan, 60 seconds.
I've heard a lot about that movie, Leo. I haven't watched it, but I'm going to. And hit the like button, y'all. Choo choo.
Hit the like button. Okay.
What I'm sorry though, Shan, what movie are you trying to watch? You trying to watch Passing or Imitation of Life?
Both.
You do. You watch the Imitation of Life first, and then you watch Passing.
Okay.
Both very good. And that director, she did an excellent job on Passing. Excellent job on Passing. Yeah, it was a really, really good movie. Anybody else want to speak before I close out?
When I go to bed tonight, I'm waking up tomorrow and I'm passing as rich.
Period.
All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and close out. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, Real Housewives of Potomac has set the colorism tone. They really have, and it is such a hurtful conversation. I mean, just note in that director, she's crying, and it was her mother, and the father said to the mother, like, I did it for you. So her grandfather said to her mother, I did it for you. And she kept saying, she was looking at her mother saying, you just look black to me. So it's not only just passing, is you giving up and throwing away your whole family lineage, so to speak, because you can never connect with these people. I can't call my black sister my sister if I'm trying to pass. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all in the next time. Okay. Thanks for being here. If you didn't hit the like button coming in, hit the like button going out. Thanks, everybody. Good night and goodbye.
Do not cheat the